ever allow a Singaporean to lose a job to a foreigner. An irresponsible government is a government that allows foreigners to come in and take away Singaporean jobs. Yeah? Yeah. So you have this lovely Encik who today is driving a taxi, who I am sure has a lot more talent and can contribute to Singapore far more. Instead, his jobs go to foreigners. Yeah.
Hui Hui, last year, Singapore had record jobs growth in its history. And 88.5% of the record job growth went to foreigners. Are you happy?
So now, because the AG still want me to raise fund on behalf of these people, then I need to prove like, okay, I'm going to get a job to get installment or whatever. Then I went to work for Singapore because it's part of government and it's the government who can't politically persecute me. So might as well go and try out the government system. So how it works in Singapore is that once you go to work for Singapore, they will arrange for you to go to different companies for people to find jobs for you. And these kind of people who actually help you to find jobs, what they say is you go to things like street jobs or job street, something like that. So you go there, they ask you to create an account. And what these people do is just tell you to create an account, and they say that when there is jobs, then I would recommend to you. You don't need to waste time to go and apply to these jobs that you always see on this website. Because a lot of the jobs on the website are just put there to show that, hey, look, Singaporeans, the companies are actually looking for people and you are not working in this kind of jobs. Why is it? Because you are finding that the salary is very low. Which is also why nowadays the government is coming up with this minimum $1,500 for admin. But can you imagine the government has to set a law to say that admin are now having $1,500. Before that, they are having less than $1,500. Is it humane or not? And for these people who are already working the entire day, they go back home, they still have to share their rental flat, share their rental bathroom with other people. Is this how the Singapore government is treating the future generation?
I am finding more and more examples, of Singaporeans having to work multiple jobs. All right, I have taken Grab on a number of occasions, and the drivers there tell me they actually have a daytime job, but at night they have to drive. All right, just to earn extra income, and that shows you how crazy our society has become. I don't care if the PAP are number one in attracting rich foreigners to our country, all right? Attracting rich foreigners to our country doesn't improve your life or my life, okay? I don't believe the nonsense that a rich foreigner in Singapore will create jobs for Singaporeans. Or even if they do, the numbers are very small. Why? You can park your family firm here or your family office. You invest the requisite amount of money to qualify, but capital these days is mobile. Capital can be deployed all over the world. All right? Yeah? And on top of that, despite what Tan Si Leng and previously Josephine Teo may say, all I see are more and more foreign workers coming into the country every year. Yeah? And every day I hear, I am quite a well-known person, right? Wherever I walk, people come up to me and speak to me. And they tell me their woes. And a lot of it is connected with the fact that their jobs were lost to foreigners.
Hui Hui, you have gone through the job search process. You also heard that 88.5% of the record jobs growth last year went to foreigners. So 100 minus 88.5 means 11.5% of the jobs growth went to locals or residents. But locals or residents include PRs. So if we take out the PRs from the 11.5%, how many of the jobs do you think actually went to Singaporeans?
That's why we need transparency and accountability. That's why we need the government to tell us how much goes to Singaporean. And not only that, because of the high cost of living, and I also bring my children to places like polyclinic. Then every day you go, first thing is every time you go polyclinic, every day there will be someone or maybe a lot of people going to a financial sector. So now in polyclinic, it's not just like a pharmacy and the doctor area. There is one area of financial counseling, and there are a few officers over there. So there are people like elderly, young families going there because they cannot pay their bills. So there are this kind of families in Singapore. And the situation has also went to an extent, right? There are parents who come to me and say, wow, you got 3 kids. Actually, I don't want to have 3 kids, but I cannot have it in Singapore. And we actually went for abortion. So these are Singaporean babies who just die because of government policies. And the government claimed that their 1% didn't do much harm. People lose their job because of the 1%. And people have to abort their baby. 40% of them can't even go for their flat application because of various issues. And not only that, when people are not reproducing, right, 1.05, it includes foreign babies as well. So how many Singaporean babies to Singaporean couples are being born?
You see, I find this figure, a figure like 88.5% of job growth went to foreigners, just simply revolting. How can a government claim to be acting in the best interest of its people when 88.5% of job creations go to foreigners? You tell me. And as you rightfully say, out of the remaining 11.5%, it also includes PRs because, and I find this so disingenuous. Now, locals also include PRs. Why? You can differentiate them, right? At the end of the day, Singaporeans want to know how much every year are jobs created for them. Okay? And what Hui Hui says is right. You go to public health institutions now, and there is one section to do with financial counseling. Why? Because everywhere across the board, the cost of living has gone crazy. You know something? And I have heard this complaint many times. Previously, if you were referred to an expert through a polyclinic, there was a flat rate, right? I think the flat rate was, I don't know, about $47 or $49 or something like that. I think it was 45 or 47. Now, apparently, this is what I am told, the policy has changed. And now it's no longer a flat rate, but they determine how much you pay based on your household income per capita, as I understand. So there are a lot of complaints. People are suddenly shocked. Hey, why is there no more flat rate? Why am I all of a sudden from $45, $47 having to pay $79, for example? And it is a lot of money to a lot of Singaporeans, right? And so all these things are increasing. And yet the government every day tells us, oh, there's not enough money. We must increase GST because we have an aging population. But when you look at the figures, actually the outflow and the inflow for medical is almost the same. Or in fact, the